can feel the power, I can feel the power. Feel the power. Yeah, money that is time and hour. So, yeah, I better activate the power. I'ma activate it, gotta make it, gotta chase it. I don't care what they be saying, I'ma do it now. And I've been really slaving, I ain't giving up and I ain't giving in. Do it now for the dividends. I'll be on the path, I just gotta get it, cause I got my mind on some bigger things. So man, I ain't gonna give in now, I just gotta live this now. I be gonna be man, I'ma kill this stuff real quick. I'ma go take it to town, cause I gotta be that king on the rim. And I'm knocking them out when I'm back with the break. Cause I am just on the journey, just know that I'm just going insane. I could never get no sleep. I just need to get it, man, I need to be the thing that I just painted out, man, you will go see. See my vision, I'll be in it, I'ma kill it, I'ma take it all. Coming in, I'ma play it now, I'ma kill him dog, I'ma play the ball, cause I gotta go and get it, man, I really just need it. Tell these guys that they can beat it, I'ma get it, I'ma grab it, man, take it, never leave it, I'ma make it mine. I'm explosive like a mine, I've been working every time, yeah, I do it on the grind. I'ma shine, yeah, every single day. I'ma kill this competition, cause I'm going so insane. Hey, I really going so insane, yeah, I guess really ran through the pain, but I'm just back on my path and I fixed it now, it's really okay. So I ain't gonna waste my chance and just my time. So I'ma be a monster, I'ma kill him, this is mine, yeah. I just need to acquire, so I've been climbing up this ladder, yes, I'm going up higher. I need to do it till the day that I might retire.
Where are you to start? Let me just put up my mic.
Mic, hello, चालू है ना? Hello, check.
Okay. Mic check. Yep.
हाँ, he's saying.
Perfect.
जिसका हमें था इंतजार, जिसके लिए दिल था कब से बेकरार, finally वो घड़ी आ गई है.
So those who work with Kushal know how he just goes on and on and on. Well, this project had to have his mark, and well, similarly, it dragged on all throughout the year, from November to January to April, but now we're finally here in the best possible way.
Hello and good afternoon to one and all present here with us today. I, Retractor Harshita,
And I, Retractor Sahib, welcome you all to the Millennial Summit 2021 and the Young Achiever Awards, where real heroes share real stories and
become real inspirations. But before we jump onto the summit, calling upon the man who needs no introduction, the joker amongst the aces, the one who has had to innovate throughout the year, our very own champion DRR, Retractor Ojas Joshi, to call the Millennial Summit to order, followed by his welcome address, requesting Retractor Animesh to join him here on stage.
Good afternoon, everyone. Requesting Retractor Animesh Mehta, the acting sergeant at arms, to kindly adorn the column. Hereby calling the Millennial Summit for 2021 to order. Can I please request for the national anthem? for many Rotractors who were part of the 1920 year. Ask them one of their favorite district project, the Millennial Summit, is something that you'll hear often. It was beautiful, wasn't it? In our IPDR's own thoughts, every little piece came together on what he likes to call the big picture. Our plans with the Millennial Summit are grand, but this pandemic situation forced us to wear masks on these plans and on our faces. The government guidelines brought hope each time, but almost like the stock market, it always left us broke for ideas. Phase 2 of COVID-19 was looming. And in all of this, we introduced a new concept called the Young Achievers, somewhere to boost our own spirits, only to be dampened by the summer restrictions that came in place. As a DRR, personally, I was okay with the Millennial Summit not being executed for the year 2021. But that's when the Rotrack spirit kicks in, where passion trumps logic, stubbornness trumps passion. This stubbornness from the team of Millennial Summit and the Young Achievers. The result is what you'll experience today. Yes, it's not a grand venue, but it's at the comfort of your own homes. It's not a grand display of lights, sound, camera, and action, but you control the lights and sound. It's also not about anyone else, but because the Millennial Summit is about the mind and your heart. They say, when you put your mind to something, it works. But when you put your mind and heart to something, it works like magic. Today, you'll experience that. This culmination in the form of our speakers and our award recipients. What's in it for you? If they can instill one thought, word, or action, I think the Millennial Summit will be a success. Speaking of success, it's now time to call upon our most valued partner for this project, the Rotary Club of Mumbai Nariman Point. Can I request Rotarian Shailesh Jalan, the President of the year 2021, to kindly address?
Am I audible? Yeah. Good afternoon, friends. Today we are here together for our second Millennium Summit. We have with us eminent speakers, Dada Saheb Bhagat, founder and CEO of Ninth Motion and Do Graphics.
608.
Ms. Priyanka Das, an aerospace engineer. Malvika Manoj, fondly called Mali, an accomplished songwriter, musician, and singer. Karan Karam, 19-year-old entrepreneur, founder of Scaleless Bean. DRR Ujas Joshi, IPDRR Kaushal Bua, Rotractors, Rotarians, youth from all over the country. We also have 6 awardees recognized for the Young Achievers Award. It is an initiative to celebrate inspiring individuals from their respective fields. The award aims to recognize and facilitate achievers, innovators, and leaders who have contributed significantly towards the growth and development in their respective sectors in India. Warm welcome to you all. Courteous congratulations to Rotrack District 3141, DRR Ujas Joshi, IPDRR Kaushal Bua, President nominee, Rotarian Ashok Paranjpe, and the entire team for organizing this grand event. Rotary Club of Mumbai Nariman Point is delighted to have joined hands with Rotrack District 314. Last year, we had our first Millennial Summit at the Bombay Stock Exchange, a brainchild of IPP, Rotarian Jagdish Tanna of Rotary Club of Mumbai Nariman Point, and IPDRR Kaushal Bua of Rotrack District 314. What an event it turned out to be. It was fantastic. With more than 1,000 attendees, a super successful event. It was something we are really proud of. We had some excellent speakers. The energy of the Rotrack District 3141 is infectious. We were hoping to do this same year, this year, say in person. live at the BSC Convention Center. As things started to ease in December, Jan, we were like getting really hopeful. But the second wave hit us. Thus, the event was delayed. However, here we are today on the virtual platform. This is something that we are absolutely committed to, and we wish to continue year on year. The idea is to share inspiring stories of some great millennial achievers by the millennials, for the millennials, and the Generation Z. This year, our club was also the host club for the first ever virtual global district conference of Rotaract District 3141 and the Project Jamboree. The event was attended by participants from over 20 countries. It was a 24-hour event and a grand success as well. We at RCMNP love to associate with the young and enthusiastic Rotaractors. Congratulations to Rotaract District 3141 and the Millennial Summit team for organizing yet another Millennial Summit. May you all be inspired. And heartiest congratulations to all the young achievers. Our team shall introduce each speaker and awardee for all their achievements in their respective fields. Thank you and all the best.
As always, it's a pleasure hearing from you and having Rotary Club of Mumbai Narvan Point by our side.
But before we go ahead, Zara, पीछे देखे तो सही that how was the year before it? How was 2019-20 when we could all be offline? So here's a flashback video for you for the summit that's gone by.
That moment has put me on this platform here and giving the opening statement for the Millennial Summit.
I walk into the room, I'm like, I'm Sushant, I'm fabulous.
I need to make a blog that teaches people how to make a sustainable income online. So, few days to my board exams, I created this blog.
And we start celebrating those who work hard, even if they don't have any exceptional talent, and keep doing what they're supposed to do.
I'm also known as a guy who quit Google to sell samosas. I don't know why my friends call me that, but that's what they call me.
19, which was pre-launched by our Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi and Israeli Prime Minister.
And still sit and study one night before the exam and still kill the papers. We are the best generation yet.
Study pressure, peer pressure, keeping up with the trends, even have my parents' expectations to live up to.
125 Summit in 2017 had 10,000 people walk the streets, and we were India's largest youth festival in Canada. Okay, put your hands together for all of you, beautiful people.
दूंगी मैं खुद को बधाइयां हजार, दूंगी मैं खुद को बधाइयां हजार, दूंगी मैं खुद को बधाइयां हजार. This is DFC.
And with this trip down the memory lane, now we can move back to the present.
But before we move ahead, can you all quickly let us know how excited are all for the TMS 2021? Quickly in the comments section, guys. Bravo.
Now, calling upon the man who made it happen, made this happen, from an idea to one of the largest events in the Rotaract District 3141, presenting to you IPDRR Rotaractor Kushal Bua.
A good afternoon to one and all present here. I truly appreciate your presence here today. I ask you, what's wrong in being different? Different is good. Being different is what makes you stand out in the world. Will you die on the verge and the edge in the lands of could have, would have, should have, or you will have the courage to be different? It takes courage to be successful. It takes courage to be different. It takes courage to go where you have never gone before. It takes courage to win. All of us are different, but yet not different. We all just try to fit in. We identify the different and try to dress like them, walk like them, act like them, go where they go, think like them, do what they never would have done. Why aren't we different? You have to do things different to be an exceptional, to be wise, to grow, to create an impact, to be knowledgeable, to be real. Because in reality TV of the world, I have learned that nothing in life is worthwhile unless you take risk, unless you work hard, unless you make sacrifices, unless you find your passion, and unless you don't settle. We have examples of change makers who have been ahead of their time and making it happen. An idea started with BlackBerry Messenger, but WhatsApp aced it. It started with Zoom. It started with Skype, but Zoom is ruling it. Started with Vine, but TikTok is trending. And started with Harshad Mehta, and Elon Musk is nailing it. They all were different, and they delivered something different. With an idea to be different, the idea of Millennial Summit came into existence. We have spoken about inspiration, motivation, guidance, leaders, influencers, and out of road track. Initially, there were numerous thoughts that haunted the idea, but we thought differently. We believed in an idea that youth can motivate youth. We believed in that idea that youth can relate and connect with individuals with similar hardships, challenges, and roadblocks. They can empower each other and be the change. In the world full of sheeps, we dared to be the lion, to get out there and hunt our goals, our dreams of changing the world. Not only that, things happen and make things happen. Because nobody on the planet Earth can stop you from accomplish and achieving what you have set your mind on. If your mind wants to win the game, you will win the game. Years changed, time changed, situations changed. But the Millennial Summit is here with a second edition, committing to shaping the future and bringing millennial leaders from all across the country together. Today, at the Millennial Summit, we have real heroes sharing the real stories and being the real inspirations. These are the people who are hungry for life less than ordinary, hungry for growth, hungry for magic. Our speakers are such people who have not only given up, never given up, have dared to dream bigger, gone big, and extremely passionate about what they do. People don't talk about people who don't win. If you win, they are going to talk about you. And additional to the summit is Young Achievers Award, by which we are recognizing the efforts of those who have put their lives above others. And in this tough time of COVID, the awardees are from diverse fields, contributing significantly to their own and creating a change in the society. These are change makers who we are appreciating today. I would like to leave you with a couple of rules to be successful as a millennial. Be different, never give up, believe in your idea, do it your way, and always think about changing the world. Thank you once again for everybody to be here. Enjoy the show.
Thank you so much, Kushal. It was truly brilliant to hear all of that from you.
So Harshita, tell me this, what is your favorite subject?
मेरा favorite subject तो arts है.
Arts. Okay.
What about you?
Science. I prefer science.
So boring.
What? What makes you think it's boring? Science is responsible for most of the innovations today. Your mobile phone, the cameras out here, even our live presence.
But art is pure. Art is love. Art is happiness. Art brings colors to our lives. But जाने दो यार, ये art science के झगड़े तो कभी खत्म नहीं होने वाले.
But what if I tell you that there is someone who's basically found a balance between both of them? Actually, by contributing to a miniature art gallery that is being sent to the moon.
What? Are you serious?
Let me tell you more about her. Today with us, we have one such speaker who has embraced that the sky is the limit. She is a PhD in aerospace engineering who dedicates her time to exploring the grey region between art and science, along with the fascinating domain of space research. Indeed, her childhood ambition was to pursue three passions in life: art, science, and space. She has won numerous awards and recognitions, most recently an entry into the Forbes 30 Under 30 India 2021 under the category Science and Innovation. Quite affected by the current state of humanity through her own experiences, she's also actively involved in STEM and outreach activities, with a focus on promoting science amongst girls, as an ambassador for the L'Oreal UNESCO for Girls in Science Initiative, as a member of the Space Generation Advisory Council, and an expert to the IAF Technical Committee on the cultural utilization of sports, and through collaborations with the Euromoon Mars mission. Finally, as part of the 5th cohort of the Homeward Bound Initiative for Women in Science, she will also be taking part in a trip to Antarctica in 2021. She has truly proven that if a person is driven by passion and perseverance about something that they want to achieve, they will eventually achieve it. Please welcome Dr. Priyanka Das Rajkakati. If you have any questions, keep them in the comment section.
I really love the work that is being done by the Rotary Club, and I would like to felicitate you for this initiative, for inspiring the young generation. And I'm also very honored to have been invited for this opportunity, and maybe I'll try to present my work so some of you might find some opportunities of working slightly differently than what society expects of you. So I am Priyanka. I am an aerospace engineer. I'm a Homo sapiens. One of my pseudonyms is Lava Croft Moon Raider because I've had experience as an analog astronaut on a mountain in Hawaii where we were exploring lava caves. I'm originally from Assam. I grew up, I spent my childhood in Delhi, and now I'm based in France. And as I said, as a profession, I'm an aerospace engineer and also an artist. And if you want to follow me or ask me questions, you can reach out to me on my social media handles, or you can also go to my website. So growing up, I had a dream that was basically, how do you mix science and art and also apply it to the domain of space? Because I was always an artist growing up, just with a mathematical brain, so I was quite interested in science. And space is something that's always made me dream since I was a child. And just after school, I had the choice to go to the National Institute of Design for a design course. But then I decided that it's better to get rid of the hard bit first, which is learn the scientific bases, the mathematics, the physics involved in space. And so I started off with I was at the Mothers International School in Delhi. I did a bachelor in physics from Stephens in Delhi. Then I moved to France to study at École Polytechnique. It's a double master's with Isaïe Supero, which is a very well-known college in aerospace, where I just recently finished a PhD, an industrial PhD with Safran at Supero. Now, do you know what this image represents? It's called Earthrise, and it was taken in 1968 by the Apollo 8 astronauts. Now, everyone knows Neil Armstrong. He was part of Apollo 11, but he was the first man to set foot on the moon, first human to set foot on the moon. And we haven't had any women on the moon yet. But there have been astronauts before who were orbiting the Earth, Apollo 8 being one of them. And this is the photo taken by the astronaut on board. And so from the 1960s, since we had these lunar missions, we've come a long way. Now we actually have a sort of pseudo-permanent station on which you can send humans, the International Space Station. And tomorrow, maybe perhaps in the next 20, 30, 40 years, the first lunar human base. And so this is an image proposed by Lucifer Systems for building a lunar base. And so the question is, you have all these projects which will be inhabited by humans, but humans are even astronauts. They're not just, robots. They also have a cultural side to them. And you have to create the perfect society. What would the perfect society look like? So in my case, I give an example I really love is this Devil's Bridge in Germany, which is a human constructed bridge, but which basically fits into the surroundings, into the environment. And I think that's how we should go towards approaching sustainability in space exploration, by not destroying other systems, but actually merging and living in harmony with them. A lot of our inspiration can also come from science fiction on how to build a perfect society. But what is society without actually art and culture? So here is an image of the first painting in space. It was by the astronaut Alex Leonov. He's not the only astronaut with an artistic background. This is Thomas Pesquet, the French astronaut who played his saxophone for the music fest on Earth, but from the ISS. And just to tell you, it costs about maybe 10,000 kilograms to 100,000 euros per kilogram to send anything to the International Space Station. So you must be very, very motivated to take anything with you there. And this is my most favorite video. So that was Bihu in Space, because I'm from Assam. So this is Bihu in Space presented by astronaut Mike Fink, who's married to an Assamese lady, Renita Sukya. And it was just such a great example of how astronauts have used art and culture to interact with the local public. And this is where my work starts as an artist-scientist. So here is something called the Moon Gallery. It's a concept. It's a small platform, small because you cannot send large paintings to the moon. It would be too expensive. So you send something in a miniaturized form. And so I managed to fit my artwork into 1 centimeter cube. It's called Bhed Dipika, which from Sanskrit, it means an illustration of duality. So here I'm trying to portray my duality as an artist and a scientist, and also different kinds of duality, such as light and darkness, a huge amount of information in small space, a small cube being sent into the vast expanse of outer space. So different notions of duality through this artwork. I also developed these images, which is part of an exhibition called Star Cities Organized Worlds. It depicts mathematical equations that are used in astronomy and astrophysics, and how you can actually create artwork out of it. And recently, I also took part as an artist in residence, which is basically an artist who was invited to interact with scientists during a conference and convert their technical research into art. So in this case, it was the first time I went to a conference where I was an artist and not the scientist presenting my results. This was at the European Geosciences Union. And it was quite interesting to see how scientists were jumping at the idea of having their abstracts converted to artwork. And so this is me in Hawaii as an analog astronaut. This is not the Hawaii that people expect to see. It's actually on top of volcano, the largest volcano, the largest mountain, in fact, in the world, called the Mauna Loa volcano. And at about 2,500 meters, we have this lunar base in which you can study effects of confinement. Now everyone is an expert on confinement and isolation, but this time it was quite interesting to see how to confine a crew of 6 people. And during this time, I also had some time to spend drawing some artwork, which will be exhibited again this year later on. And so this was a short talk to give you an idea of how you can mix art and science with space. And for me, really, it was not a question of how you did it. It's just, I really love art. So for me, science is just a medium that I used for creating artwork. And space is a great platform for producing, for exposing your artwork. And I would like to take your questions now, if you have any, and Ad Astra. Thank you.
You're asking the question, what?
Thank you so much, Priyanka. It was lovely hearing from you. You've always been an inspiration to all of us. But before we move ahead, we have had questions and comments gushing for you in the comments section. Can we please have we'll move ahead with the question and answer round now.
Excuse me, good afternoon.
switch on his camera. Dheer ko.
To happen with us here. So I just want to have a small question. Like with such a packed schedule, you just a second. Yeah. Yeah. So with such a packed schedule, you must hardly have time to breathe, or once you are off from your work, what do you do in your leisure time? I just wanted to know that.
It's an interesting question because for me, I find myself lucky that I'm able to convert the work I love doing into my career. So the difference between leisure time and my work, there's a gray line. I mean, I really don't know where one starts when one ends. So I'm usually working the entire day, but I also have a personal life on the side. I have my family, my partner. So I think if you love what you're doing, it really is not a big problem to find time for yourself. On the side, I love jogging in the morning. I love doing yoga and meditation, reading books, sometimes going for parties.
Okay.
And, yeah, on the side, I think I have a very regular lifestyle. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. You play any musical instruments like you showed in your presentation?
I did learn the violin, which is it's a very interesting instrument to learn because you have to be very concentrated. And,
right.
To the audience also, I'd like to encourage people to learn instruments because it trains your brain in a certain way.
Right. Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am.
For that question.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for having me. Yeah, you have more questions?
Yes. Yeah, we have another question from Protractor Akshaya here.
Yes.
All right, I'll ask a question on behalf of her. If not aerospace engineering, what else would you do to combine these three passions of yours?
I actually started off with science, and yeah, there is a difference between studying science and studying engineering because one is mostly into the theory, and the second one is mostly into the applications. So, if it weren't for engineering, I would maybe stay as an astrophysicist, but it would have to be something to do with science because it's something I really love doing as well. Otherwise, there are so many other ways of being involved. You can be a space entrepreneur and be an artist. Amongst all my friends who are artists in the space community, some of them are architects, some of them are core scientists, some of them are lawyers. So it really depends on what you're doing, if you really love doing it, because then you have energy to spend in these other ventures. So my message here would be do what you love doing, and then nothing will seem like work to you. Okay.
Thank you so much for that question. One last question for you, and that is, what is your favorite piece of space art?
The universe itself. It's a great it's a canvas and also an artwork in itself. And for me, art is not just about what you sit down and draw with paints. It can also be the equations you've developed for studying astrophysics. The recent image of the black hole, for example, if you saw it, I think it's a great piece of technological marvel and also an artwork, in my opinion.
Thank you so much, Priyanka, for sharing your journey with us here today. You truly are a real inspiration. But before we go, on behalf of Rotary Club of Mumbai Nariman Point and Rotaractor District 3141, we would like to present to you a small token of gratitude. Once again, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
So meanwhile, as we get back to the millennials, can you put a reaction right now how you all felt after hearing Priyanka share her journey?
Quickly, guys.
Perfect. Yep. Acha, Harshita.
Yes, Sahib. what do you have next in your Pandora's box of questions for me?
अरे सुनो तो, do you want to start your own business?
Of course, पर उसमें तो कितना टाइम लगता है यार. कैपिटल जमा करो, इन्वेस्टर्स ढूंढो, प्लानिंग करो, कम से कम 10-20 साल का टाइम तो दे देना रे बाबा.
I mean, 10-20 साल तो नहीं लगेंगे. I agree, easy तो नहीं है, but 10-20 साल भी नहीं लगेंगे. मतलब, what if I tell you I know someone who started their journey when they were 15? उनके पास ना कैपिटल था, ना एक्सपीरियंस, ना नेटवर्क. था तो सिर्फ एक सपना कि बिजनेस हो अपना. Well, it's always said that one's never too young to start an empire, never too old to chase their dream. Today, here with us, we have one such young man who has truly proven that age is just a number. In this digital era, where the internet has opened up an avalanche of opportunities for all of us who aspire to learn, well, there's this one boy who dipped his feet in the vibrant world of digital marketing when he was just 15. Driven by his passion to build a company, today he's at the helm of Scales Media, a performance-driven marketing agency that has acquired 95,000 new customers for his clients in just the year 2020. When his peers spend their time, reading fan fictions, watching TV series, he handles his clients, brainstorming strategies to deliver the best results. He's also quite popular on Instagram, where he gives tips to aspiring entrepreneurs on dropshipping, marketing, etc. Throughout his journey, he has been inspired by entrepreneurs like Ty Lopez and San Owens, and he credits them for his current achievements. He's proven with his commitment that age is just a number and there is no limit to what we can achieve if we keep trying. Please welcome the youngest speaker at the Millennial Summit today, Mr. Karan Karam.
And if you have any questions, do keep them posted in the comment section.
Okay, hey guys. Firstly, thank you so much for the intro. Let me just quickly introduce myself as well. My name is Karan Karam. I'm a 19-year-old college-going entrepreneur. The reason why I say college-going is because if you see on social media, on Instagram, YouTube, there's so many of these dropouts that are getting a lot of limelight. So that's the major reason why I like to showcase college-going entrepreneurs as well. Okay, because that's another type of hustle of its own. Okay, and a bit about me, I run a performance marketing agency called Scales Media. We basically handle marketing campaigns for tech startups from US to corporations in India like Tata India, Tata, Honda, these types of companies as well. We're currently a team of 10 people. In 2019, we were a team of 16 people. 2020, COVID hit, pandemic came through, team fell to 3 people. Now we're just slowly and steadily building back up. Other information is like we have also received investment offers as well. So that's also been very interesting. Okay, but that's just a little bit about me. I just want to firstly just give you guys some context. Okay, give you guys a quick walkthrough. Okay, in my intro. And firstly, how this thing is going to work, there's no presentation prepared or anything like that. I just want to have a normal, straight up, normal conversation, if you may, about how did I start, what type of mistakes I make, because, I started this entire thing when I was about 15 or 16. A lot of mistakes have been made, like so many that I can't even count. Okay, what type of mistakes I've made, and just a few of my learnings as well. Okay, and yeah, so firstly, how did I get into this? Okay, so if you guys might remember, in 2016, there was this trend, okay, that was called fidget spinners. It was this like toy that you would spin around in your hands. Okay, it had got the entire world, like everyone was talking about it, everyone was using it. And at that point in time, even I wanted one, but it was a little bit expensive. Like fidget spinners, it was going at about 1,500 to 2,000 rupees on Amazon. And it's not like you can't afford it. It's just that it's very tough to justify 1,500 to 2,000 rupees for a toy. Okay, at that point in time, my dad was living in Dubai, and every 3-4 months I would go to Dubai for a few weeks as well. And when I went over there, I'd gone to Dubai Mall and I had seen that spinners over there were about 2.5 dirhams, which is about 50 rupees. Okay, instantly I saw like a demand supply gap. And I personally think it's luck wherein that thought came in my head of that demand supply gap. I straight away took 100 spinners from Dubai, got them over here, sold each one for 500 rupees. I made about 45,000 rupees in profit just as a quick side hustle. And instantly I fell in love with the whole demand supply gap. And most importantly, the game of entrepreneurship. And after that, you would know spinners died out as well. It isn't a trend, like nobody uses it now. They died out in a few months itself. And then I was searching for a new thing. Okay, I started searching on the internet. I started seeing exactly what are my friends interested in, what are they buying. Okay, and then I started searching on the internet a lot more. And then one guy's ad popped up, which was Ty Lopez. I'm not sure if you guys must have heard of him. Okay, but he's like this internet entrepreneur type of thing. And he was talking about e-commerce, the big growth in e-commerce. So I was like, I needed to research a little bit more on this. I need to ride this wave as well. And I started researching a little bit more on it. I started learning a little bit more about the business model called drop shipping, where you just go ahead and build out like a store. You start selling products. Once you get the customer to order from you, then you just order the same product from the supplier and ask the supplier to ship it directly to the customer. So at like 16, 17, it was very easy because you didn't have to touch a single piece of inventory. Directly when you get an order, the supplier itself ships it to the customer. So it was very, very, very easy on the legalities part as well. And that's the major reason why I went for it. So I did a little bit research on the product. I built my first store. I ran a couple of ads on Facebook and Google. First store, zero sales. Failed in like about 2 or 3 weeks. Okay, I lost a little bit of focus, but then I was like, maybe the product wasn't right. So I started researching on new products. Started a second store. Did the same thing. Facebook ads, Google ads, ran ads, told every one of my friends. I got a lot of people on the website. I got a lot of people adding to cart as well. Okay, but none of them actually purchased. Okay, that store as well failed. But then I saw this one thing from a guy named Sam Ovens, who's a guy who I really, really, really look up to at the current point in time, which is that it's not about add to cart. It's not about people who actually visit the site. The end goal is just purchases, and the end goal is always to make sure that your revenue is higher than the cost you're putting in, which was basic stuff. Okay, but every single beginner, at least from my opinion, from who I've seen, and when I started out as well, I was looking at all of these faulty numbers, which is like followers, likes, people who came to my site and add to carts and all of that, and not looking to the main metrics. So when I started focusing on that, started focusing on upselling different things as well, then suddenly I started seeing certain results from my ads. And then I was like, maybe I could go ahead and help certain other businesses, local businesses as well. So at that point in time, I started helping local businesses like a Tea Game Strong, which is a clothing store next to my house in Mumbai. I started helping restaurants as well. Start generating leads for lawyers and dentists also. Just started helping local businesses here and there, try and use digital and the internet to get them more leads, more customers, more sales, more revenue in. And then I got into services. So that was in 2018, if I remember correctly. So that's just a quick short form type of intro of how I started. Okay, if you would like to know the entire story in depth, then I've got a video on YouTube on the TEDx channel itself. You can go ahead and check that out itself. You can just search TEDx Karan Karam Chandani. That will have the whole in-depth story. But I just wanted to quicken it up over here so that I don't waste much of your guys' time as well. So then I started into services. This was in about 2018. 2019, again, built a team of 16 people, had some good, steady cash flow and clients coming in. 2020, COVID came in, pandemic came in, and lost quite a lot of clients. Team also size reduced. And then 2021, it started building back up again. Right now, I've got a couple of consistent clients, everything from SaaS products to Y Combinator funded companies. Y Combinator, for all those who don't know, it's the biggest VC fund in the world. We've got a couple of tech startups as well, very, very, very interested in that. A couple of service-based businesses, a lot of e-commerce businesses as well as clients. So 2021, it started building up again. Right now, the team size is about 10 people. And again, average age of the team is also 17 to 23. So we're extremely young. So it's getting back up. Okay, so that's a little bit of that introduction on how did I actually start and where we are right now. And now I want to just highlight a few learning points over here. If you're by any chance interested in either starting your own startup or otherwise raising VC funding or otherwise getting job offers as well, getting that dream job in your dream company. Okay, I've got a few job offers as well since, you know, I pitch marketing to certain companies as potential clients. I've got you know, when I go in for to pitch our agency services, sometimes the client might pitch like a job offer that work full time and we can do some great stuff together. So if any of that interests you, then I think this is the path that would really be exciting. Okay, and I want to highlight the top 3 learnings, okay, from the top 3 years. 2018 I started into services. 2018 it was a lot of testing, a lot of trial. There was not enough consistent cash flow or client flow coming in. Okay, so not much experience. But 2019, 2020 and 2021, these are the major 3 years for me and for the entire team actually at Scales, that we have seen the most client flow, the most types of case studies, the most hiccups as well. Okay, because we're in performance marketing, that means if we don't get a client revenue, the pressure just builds up to a huge level. Okay, so I want to highlight the top 3 learnings, one learning from each of the year. Okay, 2019, I'll just give you guys a little bit of a walkthrough through 2018, which is that in 2018, I was about 15, 16, about 16 years. I was extremely introverted. I still am, I believe. Okay, but I hardly could talk, and then talking to decision makers of companies was another, it was some other conversation itself, you know. So 2018, I hardly could talk, I hardly could present, and it was very tough to get clients. That's the major reason. Even though I didn't even have any experience, it was very tough to get clients. So for that reason, I started working for free. My first client, T Game Strong, a local clothing store, I worked for free about 2 months, if I remember correctly, 1 to 2 months. Got them some pretty good results in the second month, but the first month, a lot of mistakes were made because obviously it was my first time working with a client. And then after that, we worked with a couple of restaurants as well, Jalwa as well, which is another restaurant in Mumbai, Gospel of Taste, another restaurant here in Mumbai. So just small local businesses just to get the experience over there. Worked with them for 1, 2, 3 months, anywhere between that timeline. And it wasn't consistent. It was a lot of trial and error. But in 2019, once I started building a small portfolio, a small list of case studies and companies that I worked with, suddenly I started to see that these decision makers were more interested in trusting me. Okay, they were more interested in talking to me. Okay, and really interested in services as well. Okay, so that was the most important thing. That there's this one quote, if you guys have heard of it, which is the hungry wolves never get fed. Okay, which is in 2018, I was extremely desperate to get clients, extremely desperate to get work, which is the major reason I feel like where I didn't actually go ahead and I wasn't able to close. But in 2019, when we got certain case studies, we got certain clients behind us. At that point in time, we could walk in anywhere and we could say that, you know, we've got this clientele, we've got them X amount of results. And for that reason, it can be extremely it can be extremely more, the client just trusts you a little bit more. Okay, so for that reason in 2019 we got that consistent flow, which is that we weren't desperate. Okay, we had that case studies, we had the portfolio list, we were able to walk out. Like if you guys have ever seen Suits is one of my favorite shows, Harvey Specter, and he's so confident when he's closing a deal. And that's the most important thing, that if you show even a small hint of desperation, at that point in time, it's almost like you've lost the deal. Okay, because that's the major thing that I learned in 2019. Okay, in 2020, it was that the fall hurts when you're higher, if I could play it, if I could say it that way. Okay, because we were, I think, we had about 14 active clients at that point in time. We had a team of 16 people, extremely very interesting team as well. Okay, very young, great team. And then COVID came in, pandemic came. And because we were working with a lot of local businesses at that point in time, pandemic just made sure that our clients basically left. Okay, they weren't able to pay our fees and all of that, which is understandable. So for that reason, the team automatically dropped. And it wasn't like, this startup failed. The startup product market fit, it worked, all of that sort of stuff. We knew the problem we were solving. We were delivering a great service. It wasn't anything on the startup. It was just on this external factor, okay, that made sure that, when you actually go ahead and fail, it hurts so much more than when I couldn't get results with my first two e-commerce stores, and that was the major learning of 2020 as well, that the fall just hurts when you're higher. And there is a pro and a con of this. Okay, the con, which is that, obviously it hurts more. Okay, but the pro is that right now we're building up again. We've got a team of 10 people. And I will tell you guys very honestly, it is a myth that when you hire more, you work less. It is a true myth because right now I've got a team of 10 people and I work more than when I was working by myself, simply because now I understand that this thing can't fail. I don't want to have that feeling again when I have to tell my team that we can't work together anymore. So for that reason, you have to work 24/7 way more. And the pro part again out of this is that, it doesn't feel like work. That's another part as well. Okay, but it is somewhat of a pro and con, which is that the fall hurts when you're higher. Okay, and then comes to 2021, which is right now the year that we're in, which is the major learning that I've seen 6 months into it, which is that it's all about leverage. Okay, and if you guys follow, I think the person who had said this was Naval, in my opinion. Okay, very interesting entrepreneur, another guy who I look up to. And the person who said this was him, in my opinion, and it's all about leverage. Okay, and whatever goal you may have, I'll explain a little bit about it as well, but whatever goal you may have, whether it is starting your own startup and getting a few clients, or maybe getting your dream job, okay, you need to start building leverage for it. Okay, like for that instance, like if you're a designer, you need to start building a small list of portfolio. Okay, if you're a marketer, you need to build some type of case study. If you're into business itself, you need to start your own type of business. You need to have some actual experience and start building leverage for it. Okay, this is strictly for jobs as well. Okay, before I would only say it for startups, but I've had the experience where I've seen job offers also come through. Okay, and again, I'm 19. I'm doing a BMS course in a local college called MMK next to my house. You all might have heard of it as well. And it's just about building leverage, because I haven't completed my degree and yet job offers are there. Okay, so if you're looking to start something of your own, you need to start building leverage. By that, what I mean is that you need to understand your targets. Like for me at Scales, it's all about understanding my customer's customer. Okay, if my client is, let's say, a gym, I need to understand exactly what is their customer's desires. Okay, and then if I know the most about their customer, then automatically I'm the best person for the job. Okay, so it's all about building leverage, in my opinion. That's the biggest key that I've seen. Like right now, our case studies are the strongest. That's the major reason why we're seeing a good growth curve as well. If I can be very honest about that, we're seeing quite a good growth curve, also consistent growth curve. And it's only because we've got a good list of case studies. We've got like a client like Fitness Talks, local service-based business. We spent about 25,000 rupees in ads. We got them about 1.4 lakhs worth of monthly revenue coming in. And because it's a fitness training services per month. So because there's that huge case studies, okay, where we have spent anywhere between 10,000 rupees to $200,000 on a campaign. And, it's great case studies that automatically drives clients to you. So it's all about building leverage. If you want to get your dream job, start building a portfolio, start getting some experience already, start working with businesses already. okay, and start actually learning outside of the college, the degree, the school that you're studying in. Okay, and that automatically just gets you more interest from clients, from company prospects, anything like that. So yeah, those were a little bit about my top 3 learnings as well. 2019, hungry wolves never get fed. 2020, the fall hurts when you're higher, and 2021, just it's all about leverage. And yeah, just a quick recap. We started out with the how did I actually get into this? We got into the top 3 learnings as well, and a lot of mistakes have also been made during this. It's not an easy prospectus. It's not an easy process actually. Okay, I remember that the first meeting I ever went to, I went in shorts. Okay, and I've never actually mentioned this anywhere to anyone else before. Okay, but the first meeting I've ever went to was in shorts. So I've made a lot of mistakes. That being said, I was 16 also at the time. Okay, but I made a lot of mistakes, and it's been a good process, and it's still a journey that I'm still taking through. But yeah, guys, that's the major thing. I just wanted to have a very straight up conversation, give you guys some context about my introduction, scales, this journey, and our learnings as well, so that if you're interested in getting a job, starting your own startup, if you have a dream also for it, okay, that maybe on the side of studying for your degree, you want to start something, it is not impossible. That's the major reason why I try and document it on my social media as well. It is not impossible. Okay, there are lots of people just like me, like for example Ronit Mangnani as well, another friend of mine. You all should check him out. That he's also going through college, but he's started his own startup, and there's so many stories just like this. So if you have that thought in your head that maybe there is some potential for it, you want to go ahead and do it, but you're maybe studying a very, very, very tough course. Okay, and that's taking a lot of your time. It's not impossible to go ahead and do some sort of side hustle or do something that you're passionate about. Okay, and personally, I don't think anyone can tell you also not to do it as well. Okay, like a lot of people say that maybe some other person might not be in the favor of it. Okay, I won't name the parties or anything like that, but maybe it might be. Okay, but I personally don't believe that plays a good role into it. Okay, but yeah, guys, that's about it. I hope I'm not too sure how much time I took. Okay, because I don't have a presentation or anything involved. Yeah, but let's open it up for Q&A. If you guys have any questions, please do let me know. And yeah.
Thank you so much, Karan. That was truly amazing. While all of us were busy playing with the fidget spinner, you actually saw an opportunity and capitalized on it. A business mindset in its truest sense. Now, let's move ahead to the Q&A session. Questions, please.
This is Rotata Mahima here. Thanks a lot for that inspiring talk. I'm sure that the audience is really motivated to take that leap. I just have one question, and I'm sure you've been asked that multiple times. But I'm curious if you faced any backslash or any challenges specifically because of your age, and how do you take care of it?
Oh yeah, definitely, for sure. So the major thing is, as I mentioned, that the first meeting I went to was in shorts. So that was absolutely my fault. It was my stupidity at the time. Okay, I can't say that it was backlash or anything like that. But yeah, I mean, it's just a process in my opinion. Okay, there's been some backlash as well, but our case studies come through for it. That's the major thing about building leverage, building a portfolio, building case studies, that today I don't have to talk about our skill set. Okay, I've got more than 100 plus startups currently in our roster, and all of them can talk about our skill set, our experience. So I don't have to talk about it. So that's the major thing, that the client, they never actually care about the age, the degree, the dressing sense as well. Like right now, I can go into a meeting with shorts. I'm confident about it, because I've got a good roster and good experience and good case studies. That leverage is there, wherein I've got good enough amounts of people willing to talk good about our skill set. and our experience. Wherein that time the target prospect, the customer, the job, the company that's offering you a job offer, whatever it may be, they are more likely to trust you. Okay, they are more likely to think that you're the right person for the job or whatever it may be. Okay, so I think that's the major thing. Okay, previously there was a lot of backlash. Like in 2018, I had no experience. Plus, I was pretty much a kid. The way I dressed, the way I spoke, the way I presented myself, all of that sort of stuff. It just didn't work out well. That's the major reason why I had to work for free as well, because I had no experience. Okay, so I worked for free for a few local businesses. I started there were a lot of mistakes, a lot of hiccups, but once I started seeing a few good results for clients, I started building up that portfolio, that list of case studies. And then I started going to more businesses. I started showing them that, okay, you have a clothing store. Okay, here's what work we did for T Game Strong. You can check it out as well. These are the results that we achieved. And at that point in time, I can also say that, I can work for free until we actually go ahead and give you these types of results. Because that experience is there, it just improves our confidence in giving results. Like right now, we're doing this type of insane guarantee for scales clients when either we make you money or you don't pay a single rupee in our fees. So automatically clients will just come to us. That's what at least I've been seeing. That's the major reason why 2021's growth curve is so good, because our experience is good. Our case studies helps in confidence. And when we have that confidence on our sales calls, in our meetings, in our interviews, whatever it may be, and we have that great list of case studies, it automatically improves your success rate. But the backlashes, there's been a lot. I can't even explain so much about that. Like it could be anything from going into a meeting unprepared to maybe the first month you weren't able to get results for the client, and the client calls you up and shouts at you, and you've never had that experience. Like in school and college, you never learn about what happens if your boss calls you up and shouts at you, for not doing the work. How do you actually manage that type of relationship well? What are you supposed to say in that situation? You're not taught all of that. Okay, in 2020 as well, a lot of backlashes for age, maybe, I'm not too sure, age or experience, which was that in 2020, our finances were not good. In 2019, we were getting good revenue, profits, and 2018, I was about 16, 17. Yeah, 17 years when profits are coming in, you don't think about keeping reserves. You think about nicely treating your friends. You think about, spending it a little bit. And then 2020 came in, and at that point in time, our profits, like our reserves, were zero. Okay, so for that reason, there was no backup. And that's, again, it's just about experience, so this has right now I've got a very, very, very good reserve. Okay, so now we can easily handle our team's salaries for about at least 6 months, even if our revenue is zero, and I'm trying to build it up even more. But yeah, so it's all about experience in my opinion. But backlashes, there's been a lot of them, and I think that's part of everyone's journey. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much, Karan, for being here with us today. Unfortunately, as we're running short of time, we won't be able to take the next set of questions for you. But before you go, on behalf of Rotary Club of Mumbai Nariman Point and Rotaract District 3141, we would like to present to you a small token of gratitude. Thank you for showing us that it is never too early to start.
So this next speaker that we want to introduce,
Sahib, no questions this time for me. I'm waiting.
Well, I'm just left speechless by his achievements and his journey, and I don't want to waste any more time just telling you what he's all about. Well, Walt Disney once said, all our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them. We have the honor here to introduce one such person who's a dreamer, believer, achiever. He's the founder of Ninth Motion, a company for motion graphics, and now recently he founded Do Graphics with his software designer friends, which is one of the best made in India graphic designing software, all of which he has achieved in a very short span. He was born and brought up in a farming family in Sangvi, a small village in Maharashtra. He has spent most of his childhood in the sugarcane fields, and then eventually he decided to venture into the unknown after completing his ITI. He started his journey as an office boy in one of the leading IT firms of India when he came to Pune. He grasped on the concept of people earning by sitting on chairs and working on computers. From there, he completed his part-time education and in design and animation. He worked for multiple companies as an artist. He's actually worked for over 10 years in the design industry where he honed his designing skills. This was the result. The result was a creative design mind driven by technology and entrepreneurial spirit to deliver a high value product. Here comes an office boy who's an entrepreneur. He truly defines the spirit of all great things must have humble beginnings. Please welcome our next millennial, Dada Saheb Bhagat. Any questions in the comment section?
और इनवाइटिंग मी है और बहुत अच्छा इनिशिएटिव कर रहा है कि यंग जनरेशन है उनको कैसे इंस्पायर किया जाए। मैं मेरा इंट्रोडक्शन देता हूँ कि मैं दादा साहेब भगत नाम है मेरा और डू ग्राफिक्स का फाउंडर एंड सीईओ हूँ। बेसिकली अभी जो स्टार्टअप्स कल्चर चल रहा है उसमें ऐसे है कि कॉलेज ड्रॉप आउट्स का भी अच्छा हाथ है कि वो अच्छा इन्हें परफॉर्म करे, लेकिन बेसिकली मैं कॉलेज ड्रॉप आउट भी नहीं हूँ, मेरा जस्ट 10th हुआ है। और बिकॉज ऑफ मैं जहाँ से आता हूँ, मैं महाराष्ट्र में बीड जिले से आता हूँ, जहाँ पे हमारे जो वर्क कल्चर है, मतलब मेरे फैमिली मेंबर है उनको गन्ना पीसने वाले वर्कर का इंडिया में सबसे ज़्यादा फेमस है। तो हमारा फैमिली कल्चर कैसा था, 6 मंथ वो गन्ना काटने के लिए अलग खेत में जाते थे किसी और के, 6 महीना और 6 महीना हमारे यहाँ थे। तो स्कूल लाइफ ऐसे ही खत्म होता था। हमारा बचपन से बाद ऐसा पता था कि कौन सा एजुकेशन करने के बाद मुझे जल्दी जॉब लगेगा और कैसे मैं अपना जो रोजी रोटी कैसे कमा सकता हूँ। तो इसी हिसाब से मैंने जस्ट 10th करने के बाद ITI किया और पुणे में चला आया कि कुछ तो करो, अब कुछ तो अर्निंग चाहिए 10th के बाद। तो जैसे मैं पुणे आया तो मुझे 3-4 हज़ार मंथली सैलरी मिलने लगा कि 3-4 हज़ार में पुणे में कुछ भी तो नहीं हो रहा था। लेकिन उसके बाद ऐसा हुआ कि किसी और रिलेटिव ने ऐसा बोला कि तुम पुणे में आए हो तो इन्फोसिस में एज ऑफिस बॉय तुझे एक 9,000 सैलरी मिल सकती है और तुझे तेरा अच्छा एक गुजारा और अच्छा फैमिली का सपोर्ट हो सकता है। तो जब मैं इन्फोसिस में गया तब मुझे पता चला कि कोई बंदे और जो लोग हैं एक कंप्यूटर पे भी ऐसे बैठ के काम करते हैं, ऐसे कंप्यूटर पे इतनी बड़ी कंपनी चलती है। तब जाके मेरा एक मतलब जो टेक्नोलॉजी है उसके ऊपर थोड़ा ये हो गया कि मैंने कुछ तो सीखना चाहिए और मैंने पार्ट टाइम लर्निंग स्टार्ट किया डिजाइनिंग का वगैरह। और जैसे मेरा डिजाइन हो गया और मैंने जो टेक्नोलॉजी का ये था, जैसे मेरे पार्ट टाइम बहुत सारे काम अभी मैं कंटिन्यूसली लर्निंग चलता रहता है। जब मैं डिजाइन का जॉब करने लगा तभी मैंने पार्ट टाइम में प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेजेस सीखा, CPP सीखना है और कोई टेक्नोलॉजी सीखना है। तो इसकी वजह से क्या हुआ, मेरा टेक्नोलॉजी में इंटरेस्ट हो गया और डिजाइनर भी बन गया मैं। और मेरा जो डिजाइन था बचपन से, मैं जब स्कूल में था तब से मैं ड्राइंग अच्छी तरह से करता था, तो ये मुझे आगे भी जाके बहुत बेनिफिशियल हुआ। और जब मैंने जॉब कर रहा था तो एक इंसिडेंट हुआ कि मेरा तो बैकग्राउंड ऐसा एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप वाला कुछ नहीं था। मैंने जैसे एक बाइक खरीदा था, सेकेंड हैंड बाइक खरीदा था, तो वो भी मेरे लिए बहुत बड़ा था। ये 2015-14 की बात है। तब मैं घर पे दिखाने के लिए लेके गया और घर पे दिखाया कि बाइक है। जब आ रहा था रिटर्न तब मेरा एक एक्सीडेंट हो गया और उसमें ऐसा हो गया कि मैं 8-10 दिन अभी कुछ कर नहीं सकता था, मतलब ऑफिस नहीं जाता, पैर को थोड़ा लगा था और हिल डुल नहीं सकता। तो अब क्या करूं, मतलब कुछ तो करना चाहिए। 8 दिन तो खाली बैठा था। उस टाइम पे मैंने क्या किया, ऑनलाइन उस टाइम इतना क्रेज नहीं था, फिर भी मैंने ऑनलाइन डिजाइन सेल करने का ट्राई किया और कैसे ऑनलाइन लोग डिजाइन खरीदते या बेचते हैं। तो इसके ऊपर मुझे 9th मोशन का शुरुआत हुआ और 9th मोशन में हम लोगों ने अभी तक 6,000 से भी ज्यादा कस्टमर को सर्व किया है वर्ल्ड वाइड। उसमें US है, बहुत सारी कंट्रीज में आते हैं और बड़े बड़े क्लाइंट्स में, उसमें BBC वर्ल्ड है, BBC स्टूडियो, अपना टीवी चैनल्स है। तो इनके साथ काम करते वक्त ऐसे बहुत सारे कस्टमर ऐसे हैं कि नॉर्मल जो छोटे मोटे ब्रांड्स है उनको भी अपना डिजाइन करना है, एडवर्टाइज करना है, लेकिन उनको ये सॉफ्टवेयर पता नहीं। मतलब 9th मोशन में हम लोग क्या करते थे, अपने डिजाइन के टेम्पलेट बेचते थे। मीन्स जो आप लोग एडवर्टाइज करते हो, वीडियो बनाते हैं, तो उसका एक टेम्पलेट बनता है। मीन्स तो वो टेम्पलेट हम लोग 9th मोशन से बेचते थे। लेकिन ऐसे बहुत सारे कस्टमर आते हैं कि उनको डिजाइन करना है लेकिन उनको एक तो टेक्नोलॉजी का नॉलेज नहीं, मीन्स सॉफ्टवेयर का नॉलेज नहीं है, और प्लस उनको वो डिजाइन सेंस नहीं है, लेकिन उनको एक बजट चाहिए कि कम बजट में कैसे करते हैं। तो इसके ऊपर हमें एक आइडिया है कि हमारा कोई तो एक ऐसा प्लेटफॉर्म चाहिए या सॉफ्टवेयर चाहिए कि जो यूजर खुद आके डिजाइन कर सके और ऐसे मिलियंस ऑफ यूजर है जिनको हम लोग अपनी सर्विस दे सकते हैं। और तब जाके मैंने देखा कि जितने भी वर्ल्ड वाइड हम लोग प्लेटफॉर्म्स है ऐसे, इंडिया में हम लोग 10% हम लोग कंज्यूम करते हैं, मतलब डिजाइन खरीदते हैं, लेकिन डिजाइन बेचने के लिए हमारे 0.5% भी डिजाइनर्स नहीं है। ऐसे बहुत गिने चुने पर्सन है। जैसे मैं अभी जहाँ पे डिजाइन अपने प्लेटफॉर्म पे बेचते हैं इन्वेटो करके, वहां पे गिने चुने 15 से 20 अपने डिजाइनर रहेंगे, वो अपना सर्विस बेचते हैं, लेकिन वहां पे मिलियंस ऑफ यूजर है वहां से खरीदते हैं। तो हमारी जो कंट्री है, तो हम लोग बाकी के टेक्नोलॉजी में तो पीछे है, लेकिन डिजाइन इंडस्ट्री में देखा जाए तो अपने इंडिया में इतने डिजाइनर है, फोटोग्राफर है, लेकिन हम लोग डिजिटल एसेट्स पे बहुत पीछे हैं। हम अपने कंट्री का ईयरली हमारा बजट है 1800 करोड़, हम लोग इस डिजिटल एसेट्स पे स्पेंड करते हैं, और उसमें से 600 करोड़ हम लोग बाहर के कंट्रीज को दे रहे हैं। तो हमें इसके ऊपर कुछ करना चाहिए। तो यही हमारा डू ग्राफिक्स का आइडिया था। ये सब एक तो इंडिया में एम्प्लॉयमेंट जनरेट करे, और जितने भी हमारे इंडिया में स्टार्टअप है उनको कम बजट में और कैसे डिजाइन का सोल्यूशन मिल जाए। तो इसके ऊपर हम लोगों ने 2017-18 से काम करना चालू है, और जैसे 19 आ गया तो हमारा पूरा टेक्नोलॉजी, बेसिक टेक्नोलॉजी रेडी था कि हमें ये टेक्नोलॉजी यूज करना है, इस वे से हमें जाना है। लेकिन जैसे पैंडेमिक आया तो हमें पूरा पुणे का ऑपरेशंस बंद करना पड़ा, कि मतलब अभी ऑफिस तो ऑलरेडी सील हो चुके थे, मतलब तो अभी काम नहीं करते। तो मैं गांव गया, और मेरी जितने भी टीम थी तो अपने अपने घर गए, और हमें अभी क्या करना था, बहुत सारे एक्सपांड मतलब डिजाइनर लेने थे और डेवलपर्स लेने थे, बड़ी टेक्नोलॉजी टीम बिल्ड करने थे। लेकिन हमारे पास इतने जो पैंडेमिक वजह से हमारे जो कस्टमर थे 9th मोशन के, वो पूरे डाउन हो गए, पैसे नहीं बचे हैं जो हमारा प्लेटफॉर्म बिल्ड करना था डू ग्राफिक्स का। अब क्या करें? तो गांव में जाने के बाद मुझे अपना मेरा बचपन रियलाइज हुआ कि जब मैं बचपन में था तो हमारा मतलब साल का बजट भी 2000 के आसपास रहेगा, जो हमारा कपड़े का है, खाने का है, तो ये बहुत लेस बजट है। तो गांव में जाके रहने के लिए हम लोग पतरे के सेट में रहता था, मुझे घर भी नहीं था। तब जाके मैंने रियलाइज किया जो मैं बचपन में करता था, जितने कॉस्ट सेविंग करता था, मुझे अभी वही करना है, और उसी से। और जो हमारा गांव था उसमें नेटवर्क नहीं था, तो बाकी प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करने के लिए क्या किया हम लोगों ने, जो जानवर का एक तबेला है वैसा एक पहाड़ पे जाके तबेला बनाया, जहाँ पे मेरा पूरा वहाँ पे टीम वगैरह बिल्ड हो सकता है और टीम आके काम कर सकती है। आजू बाजू गाँव से मैंने लाइट लाया, और इंटरनेट का कनेक्शन कैसे वहाँ पे रेंज आता था, वो पहाड़ पे ऊपर टॉप पे था, तो इसकी वजह से रेंज आता था। और अपने गांव में जितने भी बहुत सारे लोगों के जॉब गए थे, मतलब जिनको पुणे वगैरह सिटी में थे जॉब गए थे, तो उनको मैंने जो टेक्नोलॉजी वाले पे थे उनको लिया, डिजाइनर, तो उनको ट्रेन करना स्टार्ट किया। और बहुत सारे ऑनलाइन भी ऐसे हायर किए कि अभी हमारा मेनली सिर्फ ऑफिस स्पेस पे 80 से 1 लाख बच रहा था, तो मैंने पूरा वो अपने टीम पे लगा दिया, और बाकी ऐसे बहुत सारे जो एक्सपेंसेस बच रहे थे और पूरा एक्सपांड किया। कि हमें पता था कि जैसे हमारा ये पैंडेमिक, हमारा आइडिया था कि 6 से 1 साल में खत्म हो जाएगा, तो 6 महीने में हम लोगों ने एक ऐसा प्लेटफॉर्म बिल्ड किया है जो यूजर आके खुद डिजाइन कर सकता है। और अभी मतलब ऐसा हमारा सक्सेसफुल अच्छा हो गया कि 1 लाख से ज्यादा यूजर है अपने प्लेटफॉर्म पे। बहुत सारे एंजल इन्वेस्टर है, या खुद एडोब से भी हमें एक अच्छा ऑफर आया था। तो एक अच्छे ये है कि एक अच्छा लगता है कि हमारे पास कुछ नहीं था, मतलब जो मैं बचपन से सोचा भी नहीं था कि एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप ऐसा होता है, या वीसी फंड्स होते हैं कुछ ये चीजें। तो जब हम लोग खुद अपना जो एक्सपीरियंस है और हमारा जो नॉलेज है अच्छी तरह से यूटिलाइज करो, और प्रैक्टिकल जितना हम लोग स्पेंड करते हैं, जो प्रैक्टिकल एग्जीक्यूशन करते हैं उसके ऊपर डिपेंड है, और हमारे पास जो है उसको ज्यादा यूटिलाइज करो, और जो अपने पास नहीं तो बाकी लोगों से एक्वायर करो। जैसे हमारे डू ग्राफिक्स में अभी मेरे पास डिजाइन था, टेक्नोलॉजी बेसिक था, तो अभी हमारे पास अच्छे सीटीओ आ गए, बहुत सारे पार्टनर्स आ गए, तो ये आगे बढ़ता जाता है। तो हमें शुरुआत करना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, और ऐसे हम लोग अगर इंडिया से एक छोटे छोटे प्लेटफॉर्म्स बनाएंगे तो हो सकता है अगले 4-5 साल में, 10 साल में हमारा इंडियन इकोनॉमी एक अच्छे लेवल पे आ सकता है, क्योंकि हम लोग हर चीज पे डिपेंड है बाहर के कंट्रीज पे। तो ये हमें आगे जाके चेंज करना है, और यही हमारा डू ग्राफिक्स करेगा कि हम लोग कितने और ज्यादा एम्प्लॉयमेंट जनरेट करते हैं इंडिया में, और कैसे ऑल ओवर वर्ल्ड हमारा डिजाइन का एक इकोसिस्टम करते हैं, और हमारा ये पहला वर्ल्ड का पहला AI बेस्ड डिजाइन प्लेटफॉर्म बनाना है हमें। मीन्स हम अगर कोई भी डिजाइन मतलब क्या है कि हमारी जो ब्रांड की अवेयरनेस है, ब्रांड का मैसेज है, वो हमें डिजाइन के थ्रू कन्वे करना है। तो ये हमें AI बेस्ड बनाना है और हम लोग इसको AI बेस्ड बना रहे हैं। अगले कुछ सालों में हमारा वर्ल्ड का पहला डिजाइन प्लेटफॉर्म वो भी AI बेस्ड बनेगा। तो यहाँ तक हमारा जर्नी है, आगे भी ऐसे करते रहेंगे। अभी किसी को कुछ क्वेश्चन है तो आप ये कर सकते हो, अभी हम लोग ये करेंगे।
आपकी ये कहानी,
वाओ, आपकी ये कहानी ने आज हम सबका दिल छू लिया है। हमें आज बहुत खुशी है कि आपकी ये जुबानी ही हमने ये कहानी आज सुनी है, और मैं दावे के साथ ये कह सकती हूँ कि हमारे हर मेंबर ने जिसने आपको सुना है आज, वो काफी इंस्पायर हुआ है। यू ट्रूली आर अ रियल स्टोरी टू बी एम्ब्रेस्ड। चलिए बढ़ते हैं क्वेश्चन एंड आंसर सेक्शन की तरफ। हमारे ऑडियंस के पास आपके लिए थोड़े से क्वेश्चंस हैं। कैन वी प्लीज हैव द क्वेश्चंस?
पहले तो थैंक यू सो मच, क्योंकि आई एम वेरी श्योर आज आपको जितने भी व्यूअर्स देख रहे हैं आपने उन सबको काफ़ी इंस्पायर किया है और मुझे भी किया है। तो मेरा सवाल आपसे ये है कि क्या आपके पास ऐसा कोई सीक्रेट मंत्र या कोई ऐसा टिप है जो आप आज जो सारे आपको यंग रोड ट्रैक्टर्स देख रहे हैं उनके साथ शेयर करना चाहेंगे?
सीक्रेट मंत्र ऐसा कुछ ये नहीं है, लेकिन हमें क्या करना चाहिए, हमारा जो टाइम है अच्छी तरह से यूटिलाइज करना चाहिए। अगर हम लोग कोई भी चीज करते हैं तो उसके बाद भी हमारे पास 4-5 घंटे तो बचते हैं, जो अगर जॉब भी करें, कॉलेज भी करें, तो उसको आप फ्यूचर के लिए स्पेंड करो। मतलब आगे आपको फ्यूचर में क्या करना है तो उसके लिए स्पेंड करो, नया टेक्नोलॉजी या नया नॉलेज गेन करो, अपने आप को ज्यादा बढ़ाओ।
थैंक यू सो मच सर। आई थिंक ये हम सबको याद रखना चाहिए बीइंग कॉलेज स्टूडेंट। थैंक यू सो मच सर।
थैंक यू।
थैंक यू सो मच फॉर दैट क्वेश्चन। हमारे पास आपके लिए एक और सवाल है जो हमारे ऑडियंस में से पूछा गया है। वो कुछ इस तरीके का है। हम सब जानते हैं कि आपका स्ट्रगल काफी रहा है, पर वो ऐसा कौन सा इंसान है या वो ऐसा कौन सी चीज है जिसने आपको इंस्पायर्ड रखा इन स्पाइट ऑफ सो मेनी ऑब्स्टिकल्स? Out his speech. Comment in the box right now. Till the time we have him here. All right. The question कुछ इस तरीके से है कि हम सब जानते हैं आपका स्ट्रगल काफी रियल रहा है।
इससे सुने थे नारायण मूर्ति जी के कैसे उन्होंने अपना इन्फोसिस स्टार्ट किया, कैसे सुधा मूर्ति जी पहले टेलको में थे, उन्होंने कैसे उनको हेल्प किया, अपने गहने भी गिरवी रखे वगैरह। तो अगर मैं उनसे बहुत इंस्पायर था कि ऐसा मुझे कुछ तो करना है, कुछ तो करना चाहिए, और उसी वजह से मैं आगे वहां से मुझे इन्फोसिस में जब मैं एंटर हुआ तो सभी वे से मतलब मेरा पूरा लाइफ चेंज हो गया कि कैसे एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप करना है, कैसा कुछ तो सीखना चाहिए। तो मैं अपना आइडल मिस्टर नारायण मूर्ति जी को मैं अपना आइडल मानता हूँ कि कैसे उन्होंने ये किया।
Thank you so much, Mr. Dada Sahab, for being here at the Millennial Summit with us today. It's truly been a dream come true journey to hear from you. But before you go, on behalf of Rotary Club of Mumbai Nariman Point and Rotaract District 3141, we would like to present to you a small token of gratitude. आपका तहे दिल से बहुत-बहुत शुक्रिया।
So before we move ahead, well, हर्षिता हो और बॉलीवुड की बातें ना हो ये तो नहीं हो सकता. Guys, put one song that comes in your mind after listening to Dada Saheb's speech. Put it in the comment section below. You know what, Harshita? I think I have one final question for you.
Irshad.
What would be your reaction if I tell you that you have an opportunity to meet today on air one of India's most upcoming indie artists?
Is this for real? Are you serious? I'm super excited.
Yes. But रुको. सभी दिल थाम के बैठिए because we have our final millennium coming up for you now. To write a song, they say you must have imagination. To have an imagination, You Must Be Free. She is one of India's most recognized faces in the English music circuit. She sporadically worked with the likes of A.R. Rahman, Dhanush, and Sapta. But for the BBA graduate, music was still a hobby. She was determined to make it a career. So she quit her job as a podcast producer. 6 years later, she gave us multiple hits, and her song Mundane has ranked #1 in the Euro Indie Music chart. Caution to Wind is her debut full-length album and is one of the most anticipated albums of 2021 as dubbed by the Humming Heart. She has been recently recognized in the Forbes 30 under 30 list of 2021. She was born and brought up in a Malayali family in Chennai, Tamil Nadu. She grew up listening to electronic music, and since the age of 5, she has been enrolled in a plethora of classes, ranging from swimming and Bharatnatyam to piano, and then eventually she learned the guitar as well. Indian parents, right? But her first singing performance was at a very young age, at the age of 12. At the party, she sang a version of the song Fever, with some of the lyrics changed to suit the occasion. This inspired her to write and compose since she was 16. And she graduated from the Loyola College and the same year moved to Mumbai, Maharashtra to pursue a career in music. A person with multitude of talent and a determination that truly makes you wonder and truly is an inspiration for all of us. Please welcome Ms. Malvika Manoj. Don't forget to post your questions once again.
Hey everyone, I'm Mali and I'm a singer and songwriter. I just want to start by saying that I'm really glad that I'm a part of this conversation, and as an indie artist and singer and songwriter, I thought I would shed some light on just what we do and our lives, and so I've chosen the topic of my talk today as demystifying indie music. Well, I mean, to begin with, I was at a party last weekend, and I think I was mainly called as like the informal party entertainment. But I was there to have a good time, and the interesting thing is, like, every time, me or any of my friends who are also indie artists encounter someone who isn't and is curious, we get a bunch of questions which I find are quite similar across the board. And so I thought I'd take those questions that we often get and use them to address really what kind of life we live and the kind of job that we have, and maybe it'll help you understand a little bit more by the end of this talk about what we do. So, I think the first 15-20 minutes of this conversation was, it had all of these questions, and I was quite amused. In fact, I thought about how I can bring this up in today's talk. And there's a lot of people who really don't understand what indie music even is, so let's talk about that first. How would you define indie music, right? Some people will say that indie music is, it is a genre. Some people say it's a genre. Some people will say it's just music that's not mainstream. Like, it's not artists that are signed to major record labels or are, represented on a global scale, right? I think the answer is actually a mix of both of these, because very often you'll find that artists who are not mainstream will tend to make decisions that are more experimental, and they're less encumbered when it comes to making choices with their art. And so, it's a mix of both. That's why you have genres like indie rock and indie pop that have come up, which kind of club all of these loose definitions of indie music together, right? Now, going to question number 1. Oh, so you're a singer-songwriter. Where do you usually perform? There is no usual place. I hate to break it to you. Honestly, we're freelancers, so we go wherever we're called. Sometimes it's music festivals, sometimes it's venues, sometimes it's house concerts, sometimes it's wedding gigs. Honestly, we are quite flexible with our performances. Some of us perform as solo artists, some of us as duos, some of us as bands, some even play DJ sets. So it's really difficult to kind of say what specific venue you perform at. And I think the reason this question even comes about is, about 20 or 25 years ago, it was quite a norm for many bands to sort of have a residency at a hotel. So they would play at a hotel or a bar or a restaurant every Friday night or a Saturday night. And that became a regular contract. But that doesn't exist anymore, and definitely not for indie musicians. Question number 2. Why don't you sign to a label? This is something that I get a lot. And again, 15, 20 years ago, this would have been a valid question to ask because we didn't have the resources we do right now in terms of the internet and social media and just more access as independent artists to distribution and to streaming and all of that, right? So you needed to go through a distributor or a label or have, a tour manager or someone to help you handle all of these things. So these days, the concept of signing to a label doesn't exist. It doesn't need to for the most part. Obviously, there are some artists who will take on label deals to follow their career, but there's, people will say that there's a lot of rights that need to be signed off and you have a certain, like a contractual obligation to stay with the label within which you can't work with anyone else. So there are a lot of legal reasons why people don't sign to labels right now. And it has been offset by the fact that the internet has provided a sort of rescue from all of those restrictions. When will you get the big break? Okay, so here's something I want to break to you guys. Being an indie musician, it's like any other job. I guess it so happens that we play music and we're on social media and we make songs and we talk about our feelings a lot. But it is a job like any other job, and you have to show up to it every day. You have to be committed. You can't sit around and wait for a big break because that's never going to come. You have to kind of set the ball in motion. You have to put yourself out, your music out, better yourself without needing to depend on someone to offer you that big break because it's very rare and often not very long term if such a thing even comes by. So it's important to create your own traction if you are an aspiring artist. Before you expect someone else to take you seriously, you need to first. All right, do you write and practice every day? This is also an interesting one. Yes and no. I mean, there are people who will, set aside a routine of like, I need to practice this much every day. Or some people practice more before they have gigs. Or when they're preparing a set, they will do more work towards it. Or if you're going through a heartbreak, you end up writing more songs, things like that. But the short answer is indie musicians don't always just sing and write songs and play music. Our jobs are only maybe 20% indie music. The rest of it is answering phone calls, writing emails, making our press kits, updating our websites, doing stuff for social media. All of that actually ends up taking more time and is actually equally important to what we do, especially if we don't have a social media team or a manager or something. We have to do all of these things ourselves. So you could even go as far as comparing an indie musician life to that of an entrepreneur. There are no rules. You can only push your own boundaries as far as you want to. So I definitely recommend writing and practicing as much as possible, but every day is a little too idealistic. Do you make any money from releasing music? Okay, this is a really difficult one and the answer to it is pretty sad. The short answer is no. Again, back when people used to sell cassettes and CDs and physical copies of their albums, they could recover the money they spent towards producing music. They could even make a good living out of the royalties that they'd get from it. But then we had the piracy age and that started becoming an issue. And then the collapse of a lot of, physical manufacturers of CDs and all of that. And now we have streaming. And for those of you who are curious to know, I think for Spotify, it's like for every 1,000 streams, an artist gets something between $3 and $6 of revenue. And even that is split between the distributor, between something else, it goes in tax. And by the time it comes down to you, it's like pretty much nothing. So can you make money from releasing music alone? No. But you do get spin-offs from, say, people who want to call you for ad projects, who want to sync your song to their film or to their ad or something like that. All of these are far more lucrative revenue streams than streaming. Obviously, there are artists like Rhythmist, for example, who've made a significant amount from streaming, and they go down as success stories, but they're not the norm, they're the exception. Cool. And burning questions. How has the pandemic treated you and other artists like you? I think you all know the obvious answer is it's been very difficult. There have been no live tours, there have been no performances. We haven't even been able to go into the studio to do our work like we usually would. So you find a lot of people who have home setups, people who are producers who are doing all right because they could still continue their work from the comfort of their homes. But for artists who depended mostly on touring and gigs, it's been very difficult. So we've had to resort to online concerts, but that's really not the same as really being in front of an audience and having that energy and playing an actual show. For both the audience and the artist's point of view, it's definitely a step down, and we're all hoping that after this pandemic, we can return to some kind of normalcy as of 2019 at least. How can we support indie music? Alright, so here's a couple of things you can do. I'm sure a lot of you already have favorite indie artists that you listen to. It's difficult for me to ask you names right now because this is a bit of a one-way stream, but if there's anyone that you like, that you believe in, you invest in them. And I say invest, and I don't use it lightly. You need to invest in the artists that you want. In fact, there are options such as Patreon. There are a bunch of artists who have accounts on what's called Patreon, where you can be a patron of their work and pay like a subsidy sort of amount towards them so that they can fulfill their art and give you more work and music that you like. Then obviously streaming music of artists that you like, liking, sharing, subscribing, adding to playlists, sharing it with your friends when you go out to their houses, whatever it takes. I think really just making it the norm for something not to be listened to as indie music, but as music that you like. Then I think we've really won the battle. So thank you so much, guys, and let me know if you have any questions. Sure.
Now that's what we call a power pack speaker. In fact, a perfect wrap to the lineup. But before we let you go, Malvika, I'm sure our audience has a few questions for you. Can we have the questions, please?
Yes, yes, sure. I hope you can hear me, Malvika ma'am. My name is Vagisha, and it has been a delight listening to you because I myself am indie music fan. I got into the genre not earlier than a year ago, but then listening to bands like Local Train and Time at Doors, and it's kind of something that it feels like home. So my question to you is, 2020 has been a rough year, and especially when it comes to music, music is something that you can't force. It's something that comes from within, and you can't just have a set schedule in your day, songs and make music.
Doesn't happen.
Still in 2020, you've managed to release 3 singles. That's something that I cannot fathom, but that's congratulations to you. So how has the experience been for you? Pre-pandemic, post-pandemic, how did you deal with in entirety, how has the experience been for you? Can you please tell it to the audience?
So I'll say it's not been all negative. For me, it's actually been life-changing for better or worse. One of the major changes that happened in my life is I was living in Bombay for 5 years, and then I moved back to Chennai in June last year in the midst of the pandemic because, just it wasn't lucrative to spend so much money on rent. We didn't know when, work was going to come back to normal. So I moved back, but then, it's been really comfortable being back at home, spending time with family. It's, quality time that I never expected to have with them. And for those reasons, I think it's been really good. It's been also a low pressure time for me to just sit back and take stock of me and my future goals and really where I'm going. I released the album in April, so it's just 2 months now. And it gave me a lot of time to actually think about even the direction of the album and the content that I should be making and just how to promote it and all of that. So it's been, I usually tell people it's like a self-imposed exile. So it's been good for me, yeah.
So, which one are you introducing?
I'm introducing this, the next one, Nihal Singh Agar.
You're not on mute.
to your answer, especially the question.
Thank you so much.
It's a demand from the audience. That is, what is your favorite verse? And it's a special request if you could sing a couple of lines.
Oh, wow. You know what? Let me see if I can. Give me a quick second. I'll try and see if I can make something happen, right?
All right.
I actually happen to be sitting at a piano right now, so I can play something for you. Okay. I can play you a bit of a song of mine called Absolute. And the music video exists on YouTube. The song exists on all streaming platforms. So if you like it, go check it out. You walked a mile to tell the stories of your people. You strayed another from the truth. And now you're breaking all the promises and trust they had in you. They toiled for hours until they broke their backs in seconds, waiting for the fickle-minded rain. And now they're counting on the only hope they think still remains. Did all your fame and fortune drag integrity away? Were you just building castles in the sky? Would all your saints go rushing by brothers in the fray? Watch them die. Now you can do what you want to do. Your powers are absolute. You're gonna reign forever. And we can say what we want to say. Free for a better day. You're gonna reign forever. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much, Ms. Malvika, for electrifying this Millennial Summit with your performance.
I wasn't preparing for the song. I just happened to have a piano like right here.
Amazing.
Yeah, for sure.
Once again, thank you so much, Malvika, for electrifying the Millennial Summit with your performance. But before you go ahead, on behalf of Rotary Club of Mumbai Narman Point and Rotaract District 3141, we would like to present to you a small token of gratitude. Thank you once again for your time and presence.
Thank you so much.
Well, this year has been unconventional for all of us. While we're trying to figure ourselves out,
there were some of them that went beyond and did just more than that. These heroes stepped up to matter when it mattered the most and kept the needs of those around them before theirs.
So, are you guys excited for this next segment? Yes, right? Stay glued and don't go anywhere.
कहीं मत जाइए क्योंकि young achievers अभी बाकी है मेरे दोस्त. Calling upon stage Retractor Anisha and Retractor Akshaya to take ahead the Young Achievers Award. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Rotractor Akshaya, and today I'm going to introduce to you for the first time Young Achievers Awards. The concept itself is a wider one and aims to recognize and felicitate achievers, innovators, and leaders who have contributed significantly towards the growth and development of their respective sectors in India. This year, we are awarding such youth who contributed immensely towards their ongoing pandemic and heroically carried out their duty for our citizens.
So, to begin with the recognition ceremony, I call upon the President-elect of Rotary Club of Mumbai Nariman Point, Rotarians. Hello. So, to begin with the recognition ceremony, I call upon the President-elect of Rotary Club of Mumbai Nariman Point, Rotarian Sameer Shah sir, to introduce our first awardee for the evening.
Sameer sir, you're live in 3, 2, 1.
Second year engineering at KJ Somaya College of Engineering, Mumbai. He is the chief innovator at Cove Tech Ventilation Systems, a compact ventilation system for PPE kits. He is also the founder of a tech startup named What Technovations, where they aim at creating innovation-driven solutions for a wide area of problems faced by the masses. Being a tech entrepreneur, he also enjoys numerous physical pursuits, trekking the Himalayas being one of his favorites. He hopes to make it to the Forbes 30 under 30 soon and create a bigger impact by his innovations. We present to you the Young Achievers Award for Innovation in recognition of your contributions. Congratulations, Nihal. Can we please have you responding live to the award?
Yes, sir.
Great, Nihal.
Thank you.
Congratulations once again.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. To everybody who is watching, I'd like to thank Rotract 3141 for giving me this honor. It's really great to be here. And as an innovator, I'd like to tell you a small brief about how this started and the things I've learned in this whole journey quickly. So all of this started last year in the month of May, in the middle of lockdown, when due to COVID, the resources availability was very low. Everything was shut down, and things were difficult to it was difficult to procure materials. It was difficult to go about things. So, but when this idea came into my head, I started working on it. The main motivation was my mother. She's a doctor, and she's been dealing with COVID patients recently, and she was facing with the problem of poor ventilation of PPE suits. So that's when this whole idea started. And around 11 economic prototypes later, this is the 12th prototype, which has finally been it's like a finished product. So it took an entire year, and it was a long and adventurous journey. And one of the main things that I've learned in this journey is that whenever you are creating anything, be it a service, be it a product or anything, when you create it, it's like a baby of yours, and you think of it to be an apple. But you always have to think of it from the perspective of your consumer or the user, because for them it could just be a different fruit, like an orange altogether. So that's one thing that I've learned in this journey, that you should always think about where you're trying to target. You have to think about how they will perceive things, and always people-centric products and ideas, and any service or anything you do which is people-centric is always good for the long run, and it is never ending. So my advice to people here and young people here, if anybody's watching, is that we are too young. We have a lot of time, and we have a lot of resources, and we have very little liabilities at the moment. So why not just explore it? That's all from my side. Thank you so much.
for a
Very
19-year-old
nice, Neha.
engineer. Such a motivational story for a 19-year-old engineer. You have truly made us believe that it is in the time of crisis that good leaders emerge.
On behalf of the Rotary Club of Mumbai Nariman Point and Rotaract District 3141, we present a small token of love. So, moving on, I would now like to call Rotaractor Karan Sarogi, the President of Rotaract Club of Mumbai Nariman Point, to step in and introduce our next awardee.
Hi, I'm here to introduce Ms. Faiza Dhanani, who is the Mumbai representative of for the Robin Hood Army and is a lawyer by profession, aged 38 years. She has been a part of Robin Hood, which is a zero funds organization, since 2016 and has contributed in food distributions throughout India. Robin Hood is present across 118 cities with nearly 36,000 Robins. They have served 11.2 million people in need. During the pandemic, she has ensured raw food distribution to the daily wage workers throughout Mumbai and helped send migrant workers back home. In 2021, she also started the Blood and Plasma Project, which created a donor bank of more than 1,000 donors in the months of April and May, or the second lockdown. This has helped provide plasma for more than 200 COVID patients. She has also helped out more than 1,000 people by arranging for blood. We present to you the Young Achievers Change Maker Award for your contributions. Ms. Faiza, can we have you with us to accept the award?
Firstly, thank you so much to Rotaract 3141 for the awesome recognition. And for this particular award, I would really want to thank the team that we had here in Mumbai City on behalf of Robin Hood Army. And each of our team members, each of the Robins that we have here in Mumbai City has been an equal contributor. So the change maker, being the change maker, leading the change in the city has been effortless for all of us because of the awesome team that we all run together. And as said, it's been a beautiful ride being part of the Robin Hood Army. And I thank all the founders of Robin Hood Army for introducing all of us to this such a lovely platform, which is a completely zero fund organization and helps us all to put our best foot forward towards the society. We all live in a stressful world, and this platform gives us the opportunity to give back to the society in the best way possible. Helping out people and especially during this pandemic, has been the most satisfying experience for myself as well as for my team. And each time that we have helped out somebody and who's come out of a grave situation, it's been beautiful. So I thank Rotaract 3141 for the recognition that it has given to Robin Hood Army and to me and to our team. As it's been a composite effort from all of us. Thank you so much.
Definitely a well-deserved recognition for Ms. Faiza Dhanani. I am sure the 11.2 million people are grateful for your contribution, and so are we for the inspiration that this story has given us.
Thank you so much.
On behalf of the Rotary Club of Mumbai Nariman Point and Rotaract District 3141, we present a small token of love to you. The next awardee is someone with a special heart for charity since childhood. To introduce her, we have Rotaractor Yash Kapadia, the President-elect of Rotaract Mumbai Nariman Point.
Yash. Award.
Hello everyone, I'm here to give a brief about our next awardee. Palak Muchal is a playback singer who sings songs in 17 languages and primarily sings for Bollywood films. She began assisting mankind at the age of 7 when she used her musical abilities to gather donations for families of Indian soldiers who lost their life in the Kargil War as well in the Odisha cyclone in the year 1999. She is well known for putting on stage shows to raise donations for poverty stricken children in need of financial support for heart disease treatment. Her organization, the Palak Muchal Heart Foundation, has saved over 2,000 children's lives throughout the course of its 21 years. The Government of India and other government institutions have recognized her social service with several honors and awards. For her efforts in social work, she has also been recognized by the Guinness Book of World Records and the Limca Book of World Records. Palak has toured widely in India and worldwide for her charity shows called Dil Se Dil Tak in Hindi and Save Little Hearts in English since the year 2000. She sings roughly 40 songs in each of the shows on an average, ranging from popular Bollywood songs to ghazals and bhajans. During the COVID-19 pandemic, the artist has restored to lending a helping hand to those who are in need by supplying ventilators, ICU beds, remdesivir, among others. Palak is getting ready to start building a hospital in her hometown in Indore, where the underprivileged will be treated for free. For your contribution, we honor you the Young Achievers Change Maker Award. Ms. Palak, may you please respond to this award in real time. Thank you.
Palak is facing some technical issues right now, and we'll let her accept the award in a few minutes. Until then,
our next healthcare industry awardee certainly has some interesting things up his sleeve. To introduce him, let's welcome Rotarian Ashok sir from Rotary Club of Mumbai Nariman Point.
Ashok, you're mute. Ashok, you're mute.
Hello everyone. I'm Rotarian Ashok Paranspe from the Rotary Club of Mumbai Nariman Point. I'm here to present to you the next awardee for this afternoon. His name is Dr. Marcus Rani, who is a business professional in healthcare and technology. And his journey for the past 2 decades have led him from patient bedside to the wider stage as he now creates a global impact via systemic change. He has completed his Bachelor's of Science and Medical degrees from University College Medical School in London and has a passion for extreme physiology. He has taken up expeditions in the Everest. He has skied in the Arctic and the European Alps, and he has served as a medical officer in the Royal Air Force in NASA's Kennedy Space Center. He has practiced medicine in London up to 2010. And after 2010, he has made a transition to Mumbai. He has worked within the healthcare and life sciences industry as strategic advisor with a lot of MNCs and national bellwether firms. As far as his contribution to the global health commentary is concerned, it was terrific. And then the COVID pandemic started, and then he worked a lot in the front lines of medicine as a medical volunteer for his city for the purpose of controlling the virus. Marcus Rani is a published author, keynote speaker, digital talk show host, and a public health commentator. As far as the Economic Forum's global shaper, he has been on the forefront of that. And he's a big believer in sustaining and improving the life of people. So, over to Marcus Rani. Apart from, we'd like to present him the Young Achievers Changemaker Award, and we'd like Marcus live responding to the award. Thank you. Over to you, Marcus.
Thank you very much for this incredible and very gracious honor. And thank you for hosting me here this afternoon. I'm very pleased that that I'm able to participate in this, and I would like to say that whilst I'm here as an individual for this particular initiative, Meds for More, it was something which my wife and I both started, and we've been supported by thousands of volunteers across the country, more than I can even name and number. And through the donations, the medicine donations of people, the unused, unexpired medicines that people have been giving to us to make available for free to patients who can't access or afford, we have collected now over 500 kilograms of tablets. We've had 10 oxygen concentrators and cylinders. We've had, I don't know how many pulse oximeters, thermometers, and all other kinds of PPEs and protective advice and consumables as well. And what I'm most excited about is for a country like India, where 45% of healthcare spend is directly because of the cost of medicine, where every year 92% of medicines are wasted, and we have over 500 crores of medicine which goes into land pumps and the water table. This small act of ours, which is effectively making unused medicines available to people who need it, will, number one, prevent people from going below the poverty line, will, number two, increase the efficiency of very lax, scarce resources that we already have in this country. And number three, will help future generations because of the lesser environmental impact and effects that this has from without going into land dumps, etc. So thank you very much for recognizing these efforts. We're inspired to keep going, and we definitely look to furthering our efforts beyond COVID to make this into a legacy for India in the months and years to come. Thank you.
What an inspiring story, Dr. Marcus. Thank you so much for being here with us this evening. You sure know how to use your resources well.
On behalf of Rotary Club of Mumbai Nariman Point and Rotaract District 3141, we present a small token of love to you.
Palak is now here with us, and we can now have Palak live responding to the award. दिख रहा है मेरे को
Okay. Thank you so much for the honor. I'd like to thank the committee for choosing me as the Young Achiever. And I'd also like to congratulate the other awardees for their exceptional work in this field of humanity. And I truly believe that when you see a person smiling and when you know that you are the reason behind that smile, I think that happiness is unmatchable. And there's so many people over here who've experienced that happiness. So thank you so much for choosing me for this award. And I'd like to, maintain walking on the same path. And I'd like to I try to maintain the honor of the award. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Palak, for being here with us this evening. What a power pack of musical talent and community service.
On behalf of Rotary Club of Mumbai Nariman Point and Rotaract District 3141, we present a small token of love to you. Keeping up with the excitement, we'll quickly move ahead and please welcome Rotarian Yogesh sir to introduce our next awardee.
Good evening, friends. I'm Rotarian Yogesh Malhotra from the Rotary Club of Mumbai Nariman Point, and I'm here to give you a brief about the next awardee. Ashwin is an entrepreneur, data scientist, angel investor, and an active contributor to to social causes, specifically in the field of education. He is an alumnus of IIT Bombay, and is the managing director at Spinnaker Analytics, an artificial intelligence company headquartered in Boston. Mr. Meshram is a philanthropist and believes in giving back to society. He established the Ashwin Malik Meshram Foundation so that he could dedicate his time and efforts to do good to the people. Through the foundation, Ashwin has conducted several social activities in the fields of education, employment, women empowerment, and healthcare. During the recent COVID pandemic, numerous people have lost their jobs and are now unemployed. Through the last 12 to 18 months, Ashwin has conducted more than 500 employment drives. These drives have helped jobs for lakhs of people in more than 150 companies. People have been employed as delivery boys, housekeepers, drivers, and also in office level jobs like data entry, sales executive, and accountants. He has contributed majorly to the field of education by donating provisions required to continue education for children and young aspiring professionals. He has provided scholarship for children coming from economically weaker backgrounds. Mr. Meshram has also directed his efforts towards healthcare field. He has started initiative to aid people during these tough times brought about by the pandemic. Mr. Meshram has provided camps for COVID vaccine registrations for people of Mumbai. Many of these people face issues due to disabilities, and in order to tackle that, he has donated wheelchairs so that they don't lose out on availing the services provided to them. For your contribution, sir, we like to present to you the Young Achiever Changemaker Award, Mr. Ashwin. Thank you. Can you please respond to this award now? Thank you.
Asmita is here, but Ashwin is facing a small technical error and we let him accept the award in a few minutes. Until then.
So, our next keynote speaker is one whose heart lies in social justice. Okay, so can you all guess who's the next one, who can be the keynote speaker and who has a lot for social justice? Comment in the section box and let us know.
I guess in the end it's Rotract. बड़े Rotract events में ऐसी छोटी मोटी technical issues तो होती ही है.
So, what are the technical issues that you have faced in your events? Mention in the comment box right now. Excitement. Let's introduce our keynote speaker. She is one whose heart lies in social justice. To introduce her, I would like to call upon Rotarian Jagdish Tanna sir, the immediate past president of Rotary Club of Mumbai Nariman Point.
अब मैं
Ojas Joshi and Shailesh Jalan, our president, to continue what we started 2 years back. I'm here to introduce hello everyone, I'm here to present you the keynote speaker and awardee. Ms. Asmita Satyarthi is the Executive Director of a Global Sustainability Network, a London-based global network organization formed with which aims at world without slavery, meaningful employment, and sustainable economical growth. Being deeply passionate about the protection of human rights as well as animal welfare, she is involved with Bal Ashram Trust as a trustee and an advisor, which fights for child rights and focuses on holistic rehabilitation of children rescued from trafficking and slavery, their education and becoming agents of change. She has also initiated a volunteer-driven movement against animal abandonment called Pause, We Care in Mumbai. She's also a visiting faculty at TISS Mumbai and loves interacting with and learning from her students. She has been an Atlas Corps Fellow and has received an award from US State Department for Exceptional Leadership for Social Justice. For your contribution, Ms. Asmita, we present you Young Achievers Changemaker Award. Please, can we have you can we have your response and accept this award?
Sure. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to the Rotaract Club for this award. I'm not sure how deserving I am, and I'm definitely not as young as I'd like to think I am. I would like to congratulate my fellow awardees who have done exceptional work in their fields, whether it's Dr. Marcus, Ashwin, Faiza, Nihal, and Palak. It's an honor to be in your company. These are difficult times. I'd like to take a moment to think about all the lives lost during the pandemic, whether it's the healthcare workers and the frontline workers who sacrificed their lives for us, or the migrants who lost their lives, or those who passed due to the disease itself. I want to quickly share a poem I had written when I heard about the little girl who was playing next to the body of her dead mother on a railway platform. Open your eyes, Ma. It's my turn to sleep. Play with me a little, Ma. Sing that special song. Are you playing dead, Ma? Even so, it's my turn to play. I am getting scared, Ma. I'll even let you win. Are you sleeping so deeply, Ma? You never did before. My every turn and every sound was always just enough. Are you pretending, Ma, because you don't have milk for me? Wake up, Ma. I'm not hungry anymore. I am getting scared, Ma. I'm telling you, you won. There are so many children who have been orphaned. There are so many animals who've been abandoned because their families have died. How can we sit still? This is a time for us to self-reflect, and it is a time of action, as all of you at the Rotaract Club know very well. I learned about how Rotary and the Rotaract have led from the front all through the pandemic when I had the privilege to meet Mr. Shekhar Mehta, and I was so proud that he's representing India as the topmost leader of Rotary International. This is also a time for us to celebrate the humanity and the compassion that allowed us to survive this crisis. I mean, I have absolutely no words to express this. While scrambling around for plasma for an unknown stranger, I found multiple unknown strangers willing to work tirelessly through the night to help save the lives of complete strangers. Through the efforts of the Global Sustainability Network, I have experienced the power of global collaboration and partnerships. And my experience with the Bal Ashram Trust has been most humbling. Our children and teachers at Balashram, who themselves have been rescued from child slavery and exploitation, have led from the front. And hundreds of child leaders at BMGs, Bal Mitra Grams, or child-friendly villages have worked tirelessly to create awareness about the pandemic, about the importance of getting vaccinated. They have themselves made masks at home and distributed them. They have also worked to prevent child labor and child marriages, as these populations are extremely vulnerable due to the pandemic. The coronavirus has forced us to live a life that we could never conceive of. Even the bravest of us have felt fear. Even the most rich and the powerful have realized how vulnerable we are. No matter what our religion, our caste, culture, socioeconomic status, we have all faced and continue to face the same crisis. That too at the same time. Which is why I'd like to talk about something called shared humanity. Shared humanity makes us focus on not what divides us, but what unites us. We must do whatever we can, keeping in mind that we are all in it together and that our actions impact not just us, our spouses, our families, our parents, but all of us as a collective. Coronavirus is a stark reminder that the health of humanity is dependent on how well we can create healthcare systems for all our citizens, not just a few. The second thing I would like to talk about is individual accountability. Individual accountability makes us realize that each individual part makes a larger whole. And we cannot act out of selfish greed or just look at our lifetimes, but we must understand the long-term consequences of our choices. I had the opportunity to teach a class at the Tata Institute recently, where I was so proud of my students. As they were developing their business plans, they realized that in today's context, along with profit maximization, businesses must exist within the larger purview of the social contract, where they must look at the social and environmental accountability of all stakeholders, no matter how small. The third thing I want to talk about is the importance of compassionate leadership. Compassionate leadership is very important for us to address the challenges we are facing and will continue to face. You guys are all young, exceptional leaders in your own right. Compassionate leadership is going beyond profit maximization or achieving certain measurable results in a stipulated time. A compassionate leader practices gratitude, forgiveness, and has a respectful connection with their own team and the world. She does not create followers, but creates leaders who are best versions of their own selves. So guys, we must practice compassion to ourselves and especially to the most vulnerable members of the community through collective responsibility, individual accountability, and compassionate leadership. I'd like to end my remarks by invoking Gandhiji's talisman, where he says, whenever you are in doubt or when the self becomes too much for you, apply the following test. Recall the face of the poorest and the weakest man or woman whom you may have seen and ask yourself if the step you contemplate is going to be of any use to him or her. Thank you very much.
I'm saying the same. No.
Thank you so much for joining, ma'am. I have a personal question to ask to you. What inspired you to get on this journey of social justice?
I'm so sorry, I'm not able to hear you. You could put it on chat. Yeah. I think I was extremely fortunate to be born in a family of activists. I've seen both my parents, my brother, leading from the front. I grew up in an environment where children were rescued from slavery. I played with them. They were my brother and sisters. And it was something that really spoke to me. I knew that no matter what I do, I went and got a business degree from ISB, but I realized that, I must do all I can to continue the journey forward, whether it's through a deeper understanding of business forces or whether it's through my work of animal welfare. Thank you.
If social justice is in the hands of people like Miss Asmita, I am sure it is in the right ones. Thank you for inspiring us with your story. You truly are a change maker.
On behalf of the Rotary Club of Mumbai Nariman Point and Rotaract District 3141, we present a small token of love to you.
Sorry, not able to hear you. If you could repeat.
We now have Ashwin sir to accept the award. Could you please respond to the award, sir?
Oh, okay. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Rotaract 3141 and Rotary 3141 for the honor. I strongly believe that education and employment, those are the two tools that can transform any family's life. And, over the last 5 to 7 years, my focus has been exactly that how can we make the education system in our country, how can we make the education system in our country better, how can we make employment more accessible to people, especially people from underprivileged sections of our society, how can we make get a lot of these families have the first person in their family who gets a job. And I've seen, the last few years, and especially with the pandemic coming in, crores of people lost their jobs overnight because of the lockdown that followed. And all this time, we've our focus has always been that of all these people who have lost their jobs, how can we get them back on the job as soon as possible? And what I'm seeing is also that a lot of these people who have lost their jobs, the education of their children has also stopped, and that the increasing number of dropout rates in the school, that is an alarming thing for our society, and that is another thing that is very directly connected with whether families have someone amongst them who has a job or not. So over the last few years, my focus has been that, and I hope to continue working in that field. I urge a lot of you are from the corporate sector. I urge a lot of you that I'm one of you. Please join hands with me and help me get jobs to people who really need them. And a lot of times we are working with people who are looking for blue collar jobs like drivers and housekeeping and maintenance and those kind of things. Oftentimes, whatever training is required, we try to do as much of that from with our own resources. I would urge everyone to join hands with us and help me take this initiative at a way more grand scale and help lakhs of people get jobs. Thank you.
Yeah, Ashwin, sorry, Kaushal, can I have a word with him? We are not on live, right?
House of Development and taking multiple steps for the betterment of the economy. It was great to have you here with us this evening.
On behalf of the Rotary Club of Mumbai Nariman Point and Rotaract District 3141, we present a small token of love to you. So, with this, we come towards the end of this event. How did you feel about this event? Let us know by engaging in the comment section below. Also, tell us who inspired you the most in today's lineup. So, now, to call upon Rotaractor Akshay Iyer, Rotaractor Miloni Boricha and IPDRR Kushal Buwa to present the closing note.
Hello. Oh, hi everybody, good evening. I am Rotaractor Miloni Boricha.
I am Rotaractor Akshay Iyer.
and half of you all know me.
While this event comes to an end, we want to take a few minutes and appreciate the people involved in this event who worked hard to make it happen.
Firstly, I would like to thank the Rotary Club of Mumbai Nariman Point for being a splendid support to the Road Track District 3141. We will always be grateful for your guidance and support. And also, before we move ahead, I would like to make a special announcement and for the summit dates for the next year, which would be on the 28th of November 2021. So let's rejoice and handing over to the two beautiful ladies.
Thank you, Kushal. That's really exciting that we now know our dates for summit for the next year, that is 21-22. Next, thanking our team Millennial Summit, which would be incomplete without Rotractor Harshita and her amazing communication skills. Rotractor Ankit, who made sure that we had enough resources to pull this off. Rotractor Sahib for his amazingly hosting the project and keeping the crowd engaged. Thank you to all the speakers who presented today with their real stories and became real inspirations. The youth of today definitely has a thing or two to learn from you.
Coming to Team Young Achievers Awards, the team would be incomplete without Rotractor Anisha and Rotractor Shri Gauri, looking after the content, the blueprint, the social media strategies, the coordination and lots of administration.
To the Rotary Club of Mumbai Nariman Point, who helped us with introducing the awardees, the amazing young achievers for the evening. Special appreciation to Rotractor Siddharth and Rotractor Mithil from Team Digital Communications for looking after all the creatives.
Special appreciation for Rotractor Animesh and Rotractor Shivam for being here with us.
We would like to thank DRR Rotractor Ojas Joshi to give us this opportunity. And IPDRR Rotractor Kushal Bhuva, without whose guidance, this project would have been absolutely incomplete.
I would now like to call upon Okay. To Sabir sir, to Yogesh sir, Ashok sir, Jagdish sir, Rotractor Karan and Rotractor Yash, thank you for stepping in to introduce our awardees. Thank you and congratulations once again to all the awardees for motivating the youth through your significant contributions.
Now, inviting Rotractor Ojas Joshi for the uncollaring and adjourning the Millennial Summit and the Young Achievers Awards 2021.
Requesting Rotractor Animesh Mehta. As Kushal has already mentioned, see you on the 28th of November for some more real heroes, for some more real stories, and lots of real inspiration. With that, that's it from the Millennial Summit and Young Achievers for the year 2020-2021. Hereby adjourning the Millennial Summit and Young Achievers.